Um, can I share this? Is it okay to share?
Hi guys, my name is Heather Ebio now because I got married. That's my life update. I was the COO of FiliFest in the beginning, and then I was Chief Media Officer, and now I'm a content creator.
Hi everyone, my name is Jess, and I used to be the Chief Operations Officer for FiliFest when it began. I then became the Chief Cultural Officer, and then now I am a content creator. Biggest life update is that I've been working and studying in the Philippines. I teach at UP Diliman, which is the state university.
Hi everyone, my name is Nova and I used to be the chief marketing officer from the start, and I'm now the media and marketing officer. And my biggest life update is that I'm currently running a small business, which is a candle business. So feel free to follow me at A Cozy Sense or check my website, my shop at www.acozysense.com.
I'm Rica. I founded FiliFest and I was chairperson, and I'm still chairperson. I'm no longer in uni. I'm working. I'm doing consulting, switched, I guess, from like banking to consulting.
So my name is Precious, and at the start I was Chief Admin Officer. So I'm the one sending out the little emails that no one wants to read. And then now I am the human resources person, and I'm basically the little social sec of the committee. Biggest life update: I've actually not moved on anywhere. I'm still in uni, but I will be graduating in March. So my biggest life update is still pending.
So hi, my name's Somiya. I was the Chief Logistics Officer. I don't actually have a role in FiliFest right now, but I might be making a return. And my biggest life update is probably that I finished uni as well.
And she's in Egypt.
I've been living here for 1 month now, but I'm moving back to the UK.
If you were to go back in time to 2019, do you imagine that you would be where you are right now?
I think I kind of knew I would be in a different country, but I didn't know I'd have to go back to the UK.
Like I said, I haven't graduated yet, so I'm exactly where I was hoping to be. You know, I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch, so pending March, I would hopefully be graduating and be where exactly I need to be.
I knew I wanted to study in the Philippines, but at the same time, I didn't expect to go for a teaching role.
I've always just done like banking, so I really thought I would just stick to banking. It only took me until last year to realize, oh, actually, maybe I should consider consulting. So I guess no, I didn't think that I would be where I'm at. It's still kind of like ish what I was thinking that I would do. I've always wanted to do an office job. Didn't think that FiliFest would be a company until when we started talking about it more. So, like, I guess a mix of yes, I kind of knew, but also I didn't.
I didn't think I'd be where I am right now, just because I thought I was going to graduate 2 years ago, but you know, it's life and you can give yourself another chance. So here I am about to graduate in July. So yeah, finally. Also, I don't think I'd start my own small business.
Honestly, if you knew me in 2019, you'd be like, oh, you ended up with that guy you were talking about like all summer? Yeah, I did. And I married him too. So I also think I grew up really fast over the past 4 years because, you know, I was 19 in 2019. Now I'm 23 next month. So it's been a few years of growing up. I didn't think I'd be here, but I'm happy with where I'm at. And this is like what I would have, this is great. This is ideal. Now on to the actual questions about FiliFest. So we are the founding 6. Like I remember like it was yesterday being with all you guys like in the meeting rooms and discussing like, let's do this thing. And it's just us, like you do this, let's try to make it happen. Let's start with Rica. Where did this idea even come from and how did you get us involved?
I had the intention when I went to UCL, Filipino Society, I had the intention to dethrone the president. Because I wanted to create like an event to bring together like different Filipinos from all over the UK. So gave up the idea, but then I kept thinking, no, it would be really nice. And the more that I was at uni, the more I came to realize that not many people really knew about Filipino culture. I was in the Philippines, and then when I went to the UK, I was always surrounded with like a large Filipino community. So it was a bit of a surprise to me when I went to uni that people didn't really they didn't want to associate themselves with the Philippines, even though they're Filipino. So I really wanted to make the Philippines cool again. So I decided, oh, why don't we just do like a culture festival? And I started bringing up, I remember, to all of you guys individually, oh, what do you guys think about this? Would you be interested? And you all told me that you were. And then I think that's how we started talking about it, FiliFest. And it was Heather that came up with the name FiliFest. So I knew culture festivals existed, but I didn't think that it was like that much of a thing. But I remember seeing Vietfest after, and I thought, oh, okay, this is kind of like the bare minimum that it could be, but it's not good enough for me. So that's when I think I started putting together, okay, what do I really want to see there? Like, how can we make it big?
How did we all hear about it from Rica, and why did you want to join it? When I joined UCL, Rica was in the committee already. She didn't dethrone, but she was in the committee. And I just graduated and I went to the Philippines for the summer, and I did volunteering and was really just trying to understand like my roots. Like, this is where my family comes from. I've grown up in the UK my whole life, and I'm also American. So I have this like identity crisis, like, who am I before I go to college? And I was really gravitated towards finding other Filipinos. There's just something about, Filipinos gravitate to each other. When you look at me, you don't necessarily think, oh, she's a Filipino. So no one would ever, like guess or bring it up to me. So being able to be in a space with other Filipinos was awesome. And I was 100% yes on FiliFest, because why not? Like, we've never done that before. And I love that. I love to, especially encourage other people who might also be trying to learn about their culture more. And so that was why it was a definite yes for me.
I'm not Filipino, I'm actually Pakistani. But I was introduced first to the Filipino culture through Nova. And that's how that was like my first step into this, actually, where we formed the Filipino Society out of university as well, and we didn't have one. And so when I was introduced to this idea by Rica, actually through Nova, Rica, because she was the one who told me first, I found it interesting because I always like exploring new cultures.
You'll have to correct me on this one. Did you send me a long message on Brunel?
Yeah.
I remember receiving a really long message from Rica, talking about celebrating the Filipino culture. It was like that big. And I was like, Somiya, you have to read this. And then me and Somiya were just interested. So we were like, let's go for it. Let's join the Intersoc. Let's see how it is. And yeah, we went from there. And I remember we were sitting at one of the main entrances in UCL. And I think you brought it up as well. And I think that guy, I think he mentioned, oh yeah, she's been talking to like the Philippine embassy. And I was like, oh, we're going that big.
Fast forward, we planned it and it's happening. And this was the first time a lot of us were doing something of this scale together. And there was only 6 of us with a few other people helping out. So for each of you, what was the most challenging part?
For me, I think the most challenging one was the sponsors, because there were different kinds of people that we worked with. And yeah, I think not being taken seriously because it was our first time as well. I thought that was challenging, but also I found it exhilarating too. Like trying to be like, I can prove you wrong.
The most challenging part was planning on the day, even though there was a few months before we had to, prepare and organize everything. There was still last minute things that you have to plan for the day. And that was the most challenging part. because everyone is like going around doing things, busy with the volunteers. They had a few breakdowns and also just trying to get everyone logistically in check. And that was the most challenging part of all because it's on the day and you can't expect what's going to happen next. Thankfully, it turned out really, really well. And I think everyone's hard work really paid off. The hosts really did a good job of keeping themselves in check, like being composed and not having heat stroke or anything. But when you're planning on the day, just bring out your tricks from the hat and then just trying to appease everyone. I think that's the most difficult part.
I have never been in charge of a stage before. Like, people were coming in, setting it up, and I was like, great, we don't have a sound system. Good thing, like, we had people, and it was in another, it was like, we borrowed another society's sound system. Unmentioned people didn't show up when they were meant to show up, which was the biggest stress ever, because it's like, I've planned this all, you just need to show up, like, just come, like, that's it, you just need to come here. And, you know, even like, we had so many performers at the first festival, and I had like 5-minute intervals for each one, and I was standing by the stage like, you're next, like, come, like, where are you? Come to the stage 5 minutes before. I wasn't actually angry. I actually think I was quite nice, considering, yeah, that was just the stress. And I don't think I even like took a sip of water the whole day. At the end, I was like, is this what dehydration is like? Is this what heat stroke is? But I enjoyed every moment regardless. That was just the hardest part, but it was also so exhilarating and fun.
Since I was the one who was mostly in charge of the volunteers, I did have cases of people not showing up, and it just messes up the whole rota because people need to go on break, but they can't go on break because the volunteers haven't showed up. And it was like on multiple occasions as well. So you just like, you have like a list of so many different volunteers, you've never met them, and I don't even know who I'm talking to at this point. I'm like, where are they? And I'm just like messaging or just making calls. And this was just like something that was constant, but thankfully it worked out.
For me, the hardest part was making the poster, because I thought that was like the most vital aspect on sharing the FilFest festival. I remember everyone was up until, I don't know, midnight, helping me out, changing some bits here and there, maybe change the color into another tone, or like maybe change the London Bridge aspect. I don't know. Does this color contrast each other really well, or like? But it was really stressful, but it turned out to be the best thing we've done. It got a lot of traction and attention from everyone, even though it was old school. But people liked it. People actually, you know, saw it, which was the most important part. So
Walking in and being like, okay, everything's fine, and then suddenly there's no power anywhere, because we got the whole power outlet stuff like completely wrong. And like I didn't realize that, you know, like the 3 prongs aren't for outside use. And people were like, oh, we don't have power. And I'm like, okay. So I remember just having to like go all the way and sending people to like Holloway, Camden, try to find with like an adapter or something.
I was like, find it, go everywhere.
I think what was also difficult was it was during exam time.
This is just so funny to me. I totally forgot about the power thing, and that was such a huge issue. I remember like my heart dropped and I was like, what? And we had like these vendors who needed power to like cook the food, and we were all like, oh my, like what's gonna happen? And these vendors have trusted us, right? Like yeah, it was so much on the line. Let's flip the cards now. One of the best highlights.
I'll start because it was my birthday that day. So it was like, get on stage, we've got a cake for you. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, fine. Yeah, that was really nice. I thought that was really sweet of you guys. Thanks.
Oh, and Heather, I and a couple of people did the banner. It was the most, I guess, relaxing period of FiliFest.
There's a lot. Like, I can't list everything. Like, I owe a lot to FiliFest for preparing me for life in ways that I didn't, you know, like genuinely sometimes more useful than my degree, especially in the work that I do now, like events coordination and working with sponsors. Like, that's essentially what I'm doing now as well. So they gave me a really good foundation.
But in between like managing the volunteers, I was also taking the photographs as well. So when I was going around and taking these pictures, just seeing the smiles on people's faces, like you'll see so many photos where people are just laughing so brightly, and you'll just have the whole age range as well, from like kids to like elderly, just like taking part in games. I think that was so rewarding just to see that people were actually enjoying themselves.
So for me, the best part was seeing it come to life after months of planning, and seeing the amount of people just slowly increasing. It was crazy. We expected like max 500, but we ended up having more than 1,000, I think, that day.
I think the whole process, it's frustrating. Like there are a lot of frustrating things. But seeing it all just come together, just like what a lot of you said, when you see it come to life, that was, I think, the best part. Like actually seeing, oh, wow, we did this. We actually did this.
To finish, we will do a little bit of forward looking, maybe some teasing of the 2023 festival. When you think of FiliFest, what image comes to mind, and will we be seeing you later in June? I don't know what image comes to mind. Honestly, just a flash of the first festival comes to mind for me, like the crowd. Like that crowd with like the banner in the background, Filipino flag. Like that's what FiliFest looks like in my head. Will you be seeing me in June? No. Sorry, guys. I live in the Philippines now, but I will try to be there. Maybe for 2024 festival. Let's see. I really want to go back. But you will see our business there. So I'm there in spirit. Port Tribal with Danang Drebu.
I don't think I can make it for June, but I will be keeping tabs on what's happening. An image that I get when I think of FiliFest, I always remember that it's like towards the end of the day, everyone's, going home. And whilst we were going up there, we already kind of had an idea on how the whole day went. Like people were saying it was a good day, they had a good time. They said it surprisingly went well. We were surprised it went well. It was a memorable moment because I felt proud of everyone, and I also felt proud of like the fact that we saw everything through. And yeah, it was like a job well done. It was a moment of like success.
You will be seeing me in June, whether you like it or not, because I will still be there. And I feel like it's just gonna grow bigger and bigger. So I'm excited to see what it's gonna actually have this year, because last year it had a few things that I didn't expect it to have. So very exciting.
What image comes to mind when I think about FiliFest is definitely the long queue. Like the long queue for the stools, like it's just like jam-packed. But that's what I love about it. Like everyone's in for it. Everyone loves the food, loves the culture, and yeah. And am I gonna be there on June 17th? Yes, definitely. Can't miss it out. I can't.
I'm going to be in the UK, so I definitely do want to be part of FiliFest again. And the image that comes to my mind is, when you first stepped in and you just saw the FiliFest banner behind the stage. That's the image that I have in my mind whenever I think of it.
For me, it's also like Somiya, the banner. And yes, I'm tied. I'm married to FiliFest, so yeah.
Wait, adding to that, the image I get of FiliFest in my mind is the pink and yellow things around the columns that weren't actually ours. So I'm like, oh, I'm so saying that was
everyone was like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? That was amazing. I was like, it's a secret. I think that concludes it. It was fun to reminisce. Honestly, some of the best memories I have are FiliFest. Like, it's changed my uni perspective and experience for the better, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. I don't really know how to end it than to just say see you on June 17th.
Bye.
Bye.
But we don't have to end it because that's kind of sad. Imagine if you're just like, okay.